It's getting late. I really thought I'd be farther by now. I must have been walking for hours. Just a little more, hopefully. Someone's out here, and they've got a fire going. Please let this be a good sign. Hello? 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 Is anyone here? Something's off here. No. This doesn't feel right. No, no, no! No, please, no. Where am I?
So, that entire short drama you just watched was created locally using LTX Director 2.0 inside ComfyUI. Again, a massive shout out to the creator of the node. He's amazing, and I honestly think the Lightricks team should hire him. Please show him some support, because none of this would be nearly this easy without him. I did not generate the whole thing as one long video. Instead, I treated it like an actual editing project. I broke the sequence into 6 separate clips, generated each shot with a clear purpose, extended parts of the video using video to video, and stitched everything together at the end. With LTX Director 2.0, we can now bring video clips back into the timeline, extend them, guide the continuation with prompts, use keyframes, add audio, trim sections, split clips, and combine things inside the node. The biggest ease of use improvement that comes with video to video is that you can lock in the exact voice you get with the first clip throughout the other clips. You don't have to tinker with separate workflows or different LoRa's now that you have the Director Node 2.0. For this video, I am not covering IC LoRa. IC LoRa is now supported, but it deserves a separate video because that feature needs proper testing on its own. For this one, I wanted to focus only on video to video extension and timeline control, because that alone is already a big upgrade. Now, since you have already seen the final result, let's break down how I actually built it. The final video is around 1 minute long, and it is made from 6 connected clips that I generated using different resolutions. Knowing which resolution to use when trying to create a sequence of clips, especially with a model like LTX, can save a significant amount of time and frustration when you have a limited VRAM system. Since I only have 8 gigs of VRAM paired with 32 gigs of system RAM, I'm limited to 8-second clips when generating at 1080p, 12-second clips at 900p, and 19-second clips at 720p to avoid out-of-memory errors. I don't recommend going below 720p unless they are extreme close-ups. When you are generating clips with medium close faces, it's best to stick with 1080p or 900p to avoid getting morphing results. When you are generating backshots that don't contain faces and only show the body from behind, with general backgrounds and natural environments, you can stick with 720p like I did with this clip. The benefit of switching to 720p is that you can generate up to 19 seconds of 25 frames per second clips with 8 gigs of VRAM, and it usually takes around 10 to 12 minutes. For the opening river shot, I started with an image to video generation. The base image already had the key visual information: the woman, the river, the path, the lighting, the costume, and the mood. So the prompt did not need to describe the entire image again. This is something I want to emphasize. When you are using a strong reference image, do not waste the prompt repeating everything the model can already see. The prompt should mostly describe the action, the pacing, the camera behavior, and anything that needs to change over time. In this case, the action was simple. She needed to walk along the riverside path with a believable pace. For the second clip, I used video to continue the journey and lock in the voice I got in the first clip. This is where Director 2.0 starts feeling different from the old workflow. Instead of starting from another still image, I could feed the generated clip back into the timeline and guide the next section from there. The model already had motion context. It knew the character was walking. It had the framing, the lighting, and the general direction of the shot, so the prompt could stay focused on continuing the movement instead of rebuilding the whole scene. That is a big advantage. But video to video still needs strong direction. Originally, I wanted the camera to move around behind the character and reveal a cottage ahead in one continuous transition without using any reference images, and it was a disaster. This is a very important limitation to understand. Video to video is good at continuing motion. it is not always good at solving complex geography changes inside one shot. So instead of fighting the model, I made an editing decision. I used a cinematic cut with the transition LoRa, and that became the third clip. I generated a new guide frame where the woman was already farther along the path, seen from behind, with the cottage ahead of her. This is probably one of the biggest practical lessons from this entire test. Use prompts for behavior. Use guide frames for geography. If you need the character to look tired, walk faster, turn slightly, or react to something, prompt text can handle that. But if you need a new location, the cottage in a specific position, or a clear camera angle, a guide frame is much more reliable. For the fourth clip, I only used the previous clip as the continuation and a last frame image to tell the model exactly where to stop. As we discussed, you don't need a new first frame image to continue the motion. A text prompt can do that. The fifth clip moves from the exterior into the cottage interior. For this section, the technical challenge was continuity. The model had to keep the same character, the same costume, the same general lighting direction, and the same grounded historical look, while moving into a completely different environment. This is where reference images were essential. I used a cottage interior frame to lock down the space, and I kept the prompt focused on a small action. Enter the room, notice the fireplace, approach it, and bend down. The shot ends with her near the fire. That gives the next clip a clean setup. The sixth and last clip is the fireplace transition. Technically, this was the easiest clip to make dramatic because the action is very clear. The fire changes. The green glow rises. The room fills with light. The character shields her face, and then she transitions into the snowy forest. This is where the sequence changes location completely. For that shot, I used a snowy forest guide image to establish the new environment. Tall pine trees, cold blue lighting, snow on the ground, mist, and a harsh winter atmosphere. Now, let's talk about the actual Director 2.0 workflow. Make sure you are up to date, or this workflow simply won't work. After updating, click on the Update All option in the ComfyUI Manager. It will take some time, so don't panic or close your console. You absolutely need to get this right to get access to the Director Node 2.0, so please don't skip it. The biggest upgrade is the timeline. Being able to place videos, images, and prompt blocks into a timeline makes this feel much closer to editing than normal generation. You can add a video by clicking this icon and expand it or shrink it to fit the part of the video into the timeline. Make sure that part has the audio that contains the character's voice to lock it in for the next clip, and make sure you have the audio input switch set to on. The prompt segment has also received an update to maximize control. Instead of just one prompt box, now you have two separate prompt boxes. In the bottom box, you can use the global prompt that sets the scene for all the segments. The segment prompt is where you type separate prompts for each block of the clip. Here, you have the magnet switch that prevents blocks from overlapping on top of each other, and by clicking the settings icon, you can choose seconds or frames as the display mode. Here, you have links to all the models, and there have been major changes. I swapped the sulfur checkpoint with the distilled version 1.1 due to sulfur's tendency to generate slow motion. You only need one checkpoint here. Use the one you prefer. And the next one is important. The GGUF text encoder didn't support the node at the time of my testing, so I swapped it with the FP4 text encoder. Make sure you're using the FP4 text encoder, or you won't be able to run your generations. Down below, I've attached some LoRa's, and you should use them only if they are absolutely necessary for your generations. If you want a more in-depth explanation about model weights, VRAM management, and a step-by-step guide to using the workflow, please watch my previous Director workflow video. But the model still has limitations. Fast movement can still break, hands can still get messy, wide shots can still morph. That has not gone away. What has changed is the amount of control we have around those limitations. We can extend clips instead of starting over. We can anchor shots with guide frames. We can split the action into prompt sections. We can use the timeline to manage the sequence. That makes the workflow much more usable. For me, that is the real value of LTX Director 2.0. It does not suddenly turn LTX into a flawless cloud model, but it makes local video generation more practical. And that matters, because if you can test shots locally, re-roll locally, build background clips locally, extend simple movements locally, and only use cloud models when you absolutely need them, you can save a serious amount of money over time. That is the hybrid workflow I keep talking about. Use local models where they are strong. Use cloud models only when the shot is too difficult locally. Do not waste paid credits testing basic ideas. For this kind of sequence, LTX was good enough to build the structure, create the atmosphere, extend motion, and generate a connected short drama. Was every frame perfect? No. But was it usable? Absolutely. And more importantly, it was created locally. That is the part I care about. LTX Director 2.0 is a major improvement over the first version, especially because of video-to-video support. The ability to extend existing clips is a real upgrade. It is still experimental, it still needs patience, but it is absolutely moving in the right direction. For low VRAM users, the best approach is to keep clips short, use guide frames whenever the layout matters, avoid overcomplicated camera moves, and build the final video in sections. 6 clips, 1 local workflow, a lot of small decisions, and a much more practical video-to-video process than what we had before. The IC LoRa side of Director 2.0 is still coming in a separate video. Thanks for watching, and please leave a thumbs up, drop a comment, and subscribe if you found this guide useful. I'll catch you in the next one.